we're back. So, another thing I forgot to mention is you want to use a stainless steel container just to keep it consistent with how I've seen the other ones made. And I used glass on one of the first ones I did, and it didn't seem to turn out very well, so there might be some type of reaction happening with the stainless steel as well. Just something to keep in mind to keep the experiment controlled. So, after you kind of mash them up together, they start to turn into almost like a pasty salt. I mean, it's like, it feels like there's moisture in there, and there probably is some moisture. But it's also, it's like a small rice consistency. It's really interesting. Almost looks edible. Okay. Let's see. What else? Oh, something I forgot to mention with the putting the sodium silicate on the outside is you can just take a swab and just run it on the cotton swab. Works perfectly fine. So now we got this ready to go. Also gonna need this because I don't have a ladle would work really well too. That's another thing that a lot of people use. So now we're gonna do the doping. You come in close here. This is kind of a hit or miss deal, but take the calcium carbonate and just use very little. Very little. Alright. Then you take the iron pyrite, and I gotta fish it out because I have it in this water solution. And if I can get some, kind of turns into a fun game. Fishing for fake gold. Alright, there's a little bit. Now what I do is I put it on this little paper towel briefly to kind of get out some of the moisture. And then flick it off. So there's a little bit. And you want a little more. This stuff is very thin. You want a decent amount of this. I'll go one more little guy that's on the edge here. Here we go. Iron pyrite. Alright, now the lead. And you can use gloves. It's probably recommended. I'm just going to wash my hands afterwards and hope and try not to rub my eyes or lick my fingers or anything like that. So I usually just do it on the file, like so. So you can keep track of some of the shavings. And you know, you might be able to get away from using the lead, and the cell still might work decently. Lead, in case anybody wasn't familiar with this, is toxic, but it also is depleted uranium, basically, from the earth. So it has some residual radioactive properties. So there might be something to that. But I put very little in. I don't even know if you can see the little sprinkles, the little lead sprinkles. So now I'm going to use the pyrolytic graphite, which is super conductive, and it adds some carbon to the mix, which in most crystal formations is pretty important. And you see it kind of, it's like a pencil, it kind of comes off. Oh, in my finger, on my finger. But I don't want big, large chunks of it because it has the potential to short out the cell, and it won't kind of transmute with the crystals properly. Oh, come on. Let me see if I can flick it out. Ugh. And, you know, if this was a professional situation, I'd be much more controlled and keep keep the environment a little more a little more sanitary and all that stuff, but it's not. Let's see if I can get a good spot to get some build up. There we go. That looks pretty good. There we go. You can see the little doping of the iron pyrite now. Or not the iron pyrite, but the pyrolytic graphite. Let me go just a touch more. There we go. Pyrolytic graphite is, I believe, the most diamagnetic property that man is able to create, and so of course, being so, it has very high conductive value, so they use it as superconducting material. So now that that's all mixed, again I mix her up again, the doping, so I'll come back when that's done.